What's up, everyone? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We are going to take a look at Bitcoin and Litecoin for our daily update. If you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. We do daily updates every single day. That way we don't miss out on anything in the market. Also, I want to remind you there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out, guys. It's totally free. Awesome community. If you want to just hang out, chat about crypto, whatever, definitely check it out. There is a link below, and let's get on with the video. All right, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, nor is it trading or investment advice. There is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And remember, it's my opinion, not yours. We're going to look at the news headlines real quick just to get a feel for the sentiment. Analysts, this pattern shows Bitcoin could be bound for a retracement. Wealth manager makes massive $8 trillion Bitcoin bet. Satoshi's vision for Bitcoin wasn't payment, says Kraken executive. I believe the same. I think I don't know what his vision was, but I think it's more playing out as a store of value, but that's my opinion. Bitcoin is diving, but the bulls won't give up easily. $50 billion asset manager, Bitcoin adoption. Tom Lee predicts that Bitcoin price could skyrocket. U.S. government auction off. So it's mixed. A little more bullish, but let's look at the fear and greed. Fear and greed, we're at 53. We dropped 3 points from yesterday. I want to thank you guys, too, for anybody that hit the like button yesterday. Please take a second out. Do that again. That really helped get the video out there, and I really appreciate it. Also, leave your comments down below. That gets you a chance to win the free t-shirt. I do the comment pick on Sunday. So leave a comment on any video throughout the week, and that gets you entered to win. And let's look at Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance longs versus shorts. The longs are at 70.56%. Shorts are at 29.44%. BitMEX and Bitfinex both have more longs than shorts. Binance has more shorts than longs, so mixed up there a little bit. Let's take a look at the monthly. We are still above, well above all the EMAs here. The 8 EMAs around the 8,500, 8,550 range, and that would be retesting the top of this falling channel. And remember, we could do that anytime this month in this candle, so I don't think that's going to happen right away, but around 80, between 85 and I'd say between 8,550 and 8,600 will be retest to the top of this, which could definitely be a possibility. Keep that in mind. Let's look at the weekly. Same thing with the weekly. We are well above all the EMAs. I will zoom in real quick so you can see that. And they all have been crossing here. Our 8 has already crossed to 21. The 13 is crossing now. Still looking pretty bullish. I want to point out real quick, as you can see, this bottom resistance line on this falling channel, I made it off the 3 touches on the bottom of these wicks. I cloned it, put it up top on this wick here. And if you look, that's where we got rejected on this top line. If we break this, should be pretty bullish, guys. Around 96.50, right in that area, should be that resistance line. If we break up above that, I do believe it's possible, and I'm going to show you why, that around the end of February, first week of March, we may be hitting this 11.1, and that's going to be a key area to watch, guys. We could break through, but I think we could have a possible rejection there and have one more correction after that, and I will show you why right now. For those of you that haven't seen, I will show you what I'm talking about. If we use the Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high, which is up here, and we bring it down to the swing low of 3175, 3200, right where that was. That gets us to the golden pocket zone, which is in between the 0.65 and 618 on last year's run. Now, if we do the same thing from last year's run to the swing low now, which I do still believe the bottom's in, guys. And if you look, that around 11,100, 11,200 is going to be that golden pocket zone, which would also match up with the top trend line I've drawn off of the 2 peaks. So be careful and aware that at the end of this month to the beginning of March, we could be going to test this area. If it breaks, great. I think that'll be super bullish, but I am expecting a possible rejection here to bring us back down to test the bottom of this trend line, which could be anywhere from $7,700 to $8,000 range. That's why we do daily updates. We keep track of that while it's happening. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. And again, one more time, I'll ask, I know a lot of people forget, just hit the like button and leave your comment down below to get entered to win the free t-shirt. And let me know what you think about this. Do you think we're going to get rejected at the 11-1, or do you think we're going to blow through and just continue up from there? The bottom here, coming back down, depending how quick we came down, would get us back around the middle of May or so, anywhere sometime in May, which would line up with the halving time and then blast off from there, I do believe. One other thing I want to point out, we were looking at this as a falling wedge. I know a lot of people were that we have broke out of. But if you take a look at the volume, we never really had any breakout volume here. As you can see, it's still declining. So yeah, that doesn't convince me that that was an actual breakout of any formation. I think we're still in this falling channel here. Just my opinion, doesn't have to be yours. But the EMAs, like I said, we're still pretty damn bullish here, especially on the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily, we are getting supported on the 13 EMA now, which is the white line in the middle. And if you look at the RSI, which anyone that watches the channel knows I like my RSI. And as you can see in the orange here, we had a falling channel that we broke out of here and seem to have formed a rising channel in the white, and then we have a blue rising channel here. This is the area to watch, guys. I think we're probably coming up to test this one more time. If that breaks, and I think if we test this, it's going to be around the 10,000, but we'll look at that in the price action. But if it breaks, we could come up to test the top of this one more time, and that would be probably around the $10,500 range. And for those of you that haven't seen, this is what I've been watching for quite some time. I'm not a big fan of Elliott Wave. I did use it for years, so I have been watching this as an Elliott Wave pattern. It's not good for predicting most of the time unless you get a nice clear wave like this, but I will show you the wave structure I have counted in there. And this being wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and if this is over, this is wave 5, but I think we might come up to this 10,000, right around the 10,000 area. If we break past that, we could head up to that 11.5 area, somewhere in there. Keep that in mind. This could be still an expanded fifth wave. So anyways, let's look at if this move is over. Well, first of all, I took the Fibonacci retracement from wave 1. Actually, I'm sorry, from the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3 back to 4, and that's what gets me. The 0.618 will be around that 10,100. The 0.65 would be around, actually around 10,000 would be the 0.618. The 0.65 would be around the 10,100. So in this area, in this range is where I possibly see us going. Like I said in the RSI, we have room to come up and test this one more time. That could be what we're doing. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. But if this wave is finished, we talked about it yesterday, I do still see a possible correction down to the 8,800, and I'll show you why. If we put the, let me get this out of our way so we can see, and I'll put the Fibonacci retracement on that move from the bottom here, and that's if this move was over, guys. Like I said, I'm not convinced it is. That would be back, retracing back to the 236, 0.236. All the way down here, I don't think we would go, but the 0.5, this would be my worst case scenario around the 8,040 if we were correcting from here. But again, guys, I don't think this move's done. I think we have one more leg up. I know everybody's calling for a correction here. That just makes me more bullish when everybody thinks we're going to correct. So that's what I'm seeing there. Let's look at the daily. This is the daily. What happened there? This should be the 4 hour. I don't know how that happened. Let me get in the 4 hour, guys. Okay, so in the 4 hour, as you guys know, and especially you guys on the our trading channel or TA channel, the members group, we have been watching this forever now. We finally have broke up and out of this. That is bullish, but keep in mind a lot of times on this, the RSI will come back down and test this channel before continuing up. But let me show you what else we've been watching here. This is interesting, guys. Make sure you pay attention. That bottom line there, that is our support line from this channel, and it's off of these 3 wicks right down at the bottom. I cloned that line, put one up on top of this wick, put one up on top of this wick, and one up on top of this wick. And we had been talking about seeing support and resistance at those lines. And as you can see, we had a lot of support and resistance on this one, broke through, came up here, had a lot of resistance, attempted breaking through. We're still playing on this line. We have broken through, which also, where it's verified here, we've broken through in the RSI. We're still in this rising red channel in the RSI. We could come all the way up and retest the top of this. Again, guys, not a guarantee. We could also draw a trend line across these peaks in the RSI. Could come up to this area here in the RSI, which would be probably around the 96 to 97. If we get up and retest the top of this, that's going to be more likely around the 10,000 to 10,500. But now what we got to watch for is, will this trend line hold support? It is around the 9,300 range. As of right now, it goes down as we come across. So what happens? Do we ride this a little ways before coming up? I don't think so. I think this is looking pretty bullish. We might get a nice, we might level out here for a little while today and then come up for another retest of this top trend line, which is going to be, and I'll show you what this is too. These Fibonacci lines right here are the Fibonacci retracement that I showed you, or the Fibonacci extension that I showed you earlier. Looking at this as wave 2, look at this is 3 and this 4. And if we look at the 0.618, that's where I get the 96.65. 0.65, I get 97.41. And that would be most likely coming up to test the top of this orange line here. If that breaks, then we're looking up towards the 10,000, which is at the 0.786. And the $10,500 to $10,600 range, which also meets up with this old high. One other thing we've been watching and talking about on this channel, could this be an inverse head and shoulders right here? And we are going to, and that would be if this wave was finished. Let me get this out of the way. So right here, this would be, looking at this as an inverse head and shoulders. This would be the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And then if we break here, continue up from there. Or the other way I was looking at it was, and this we've talked about quite a bit on this channel. Get that line out of the way. And if we were to, if our neckline was more right here, and this is more what I'm looking at, this could be still left shoulder, head, could come all the way up to that $10,500 range, come back to left shoulder, which would also align with what I showed you over here in the weekly. You know, this would be left shoulder, head, right shoulder, come up and retest the top of this being the left shoulder and then up from there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like I said, we'll keep track of it. But yeah, as of right now, that's what I'm looking at, guys. And still possibility that we ride along these lines and come down to that 8,800. That is the bottom of this rising broadening wedge here. If we did come down there, I would most likely expect a bounce on up. But like I said, I'm still bullish, at least to around this 96.60 to 97.50 range. And then we'll see what happens there according to the RSI. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on it. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin, same thing, looking bullish. We talked about this yesterday. Let me go in the daily first. And look at it on the daily. We talked about this yesterday at the 66 holding that support, which it did. We got a nice bounce off of it. EMAs looking really bullish here. Did we look at the EMAs on the 4 hour? We did not. Let's look at the EMAs on Bitcoin on the 4 hour first. So the EMAs obviously are all turning up. They never crossed the 55 down here. It's looking pretty damn good. Like I said, we need to maintain support on top of this yellow trend line here, and we should be coming up to test this top trend line. All right, but back over to Litecoin. Litecoin, been looking at this 75 forever, still looking at it. I still believe that's where we're headed. As you can see here, looks like we have room for another touch up to this. Let's look at the RSI. And looking at the falling channel, which we broke out of here. And as you can see, we're getting resistance off of these peaks here, which is this trend line, which I think we're going to come up and retest. And then we have this trend line down here, broadening wedge. And let's look at it in the price action. Getting another test of the top of that, it's going to be around 75. And I did the same thing as in Bitcoin. Looking at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and this could be an extended fifth. Could get us all the way up to the $90 range, guys. That is possible. If this 75 breaks and turns support, we definitely could be looking up at the $90. And that would be if Bitcoin made it to around that 10.5, it would balance out there. Let's look at the 4 hour. And looking at the 4 hour. Same thing. If this move is over here, guys, we could correct all the way back down to the $59 range, which would be this trend line here off of these wicks. Worst case scenario, we could go all the way down to the $49 range if this is over and we are doing our correction here. But again, I think we are going to push up to at least this $75 range. Let's look at the RSI here. Same thing. If we look at the RSI, we have room for the push up to 75 here, which would also, we could go a little bit higher and touch this trend line around the $76 to $77 range. But I'm looking for at least that 71.25. That would also get us up to test the top of this trend line here. If that was to break, then we could be pushing up to that $90 range that we talked about. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. If you are interested in trading, I'll leave a Bybit tutorial here. Go ahead and click that, check it out. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments, smash the likes. I'm out.